Hello everybody, it is me, MisterVince, and I hope you all have a great day today. And in this video, I'm going to go through pretty much every addition that was added as part of the first day of the 5 days of vehicles. So let's get right into it. The Stunt Plane has been revamped as of November 2nd, and you might have expected a few new additions regarding the all-new Stunt Plane, and you're right. But I will go ahead and talk about the Stunt Plane in detail. So the Stunt Plane revamp also includes an all-new machine gun support, which means that you can now officially shoot from the Stunt Plane, as you couldn't do that beforehand. The Stunt Plane has been around for almost 5 years, since its release back in mid-2019. The Stunt Plane itself was a pretty forgotten vehicle, and it used to spawn at the Bounty Bay Airport, which is the airport way over there, and I am going to go over to the Bounty Bay Airport. So the Stunt Plane was revamped because it was the last obtainable vehicle that still did not have an interior. So as of this update, every obtainable vehicle, even if it is old, now has an interior, which is awesome. So over here, I'm actually going to go ahead and show you guys the Stunt Plane. So this is the brand new Stunt Plane, and you can definitely tell it looks a lot more unique compared to the original. So the Stunt Plane still spawns in the color of orange, although for some reason in the garage, if you're playing in Jailbreak Trading that is, the Stunt Plane's color is blue. I'm pretty sure that is unintentional, but that might be changed in the future. So this is the all-new Stunt Plane. Its price tag has also been changed, so it now costs $300,000 instead of $200,000. So that was a pretty small change that was made to the Stunt Plane, and it looks really good. It was created by 𝗂𝗍, who also created the 𝗟𝗃 and 𝗏𝗏. So this is a very nice looking vehicle. It still has some trails left behind the plane itself, and honestly, I think this is a really nice Stunt Plane. And as you saw, it also supports horns. But before I get right into the actual Stunt Plane revamp, I'm actually going to go ahead and talk about some other changes regarding the robbery system that we got last month. So first off, the cargo plane now closes for the robbery system when 70% near the end of the voyage, preventing excessive waiting for the robbery to close, and that also goes for the cargo ship, as the cargo ship now closes for the robbery system when 80% near the end of the voyage, preventing excessive waiting for the robbery to close. We also actually went ahead and got a decrease in time between robbery rounds. So originally it used to take 30 seconds for a brand new set of robberies to open, but as of the update, it is a tad bit shorter. I'm not sure how long it takes exactly for the brand new robbery group to open up, but I believe it now takes about 15 to 20 seconds, so that's actually pretty convenient. Now, some of you might be like, well, why are you robbing the cargo plane, MisterVince? Well, as of this update, there was a small change to hyperchrome odds. I'm not talking about the pity, I'm talking about the odds. So as of the update, there is an increase in hyperchrome odds. The hyperchrome odds have been increased by 12.5% in response to increased average time between robberies. And your pity might have changed as well. So as you can see, it's a bit easier to get a hyperchrome now, but not necessarily. 12.5% is not really a huge number. It's only like 1/8 of 100%. So it's not really a big increase, but it's still very good either way. Alright, so now I'll go ahead and talk about the Stunt Plane revamp. So as you can see, you can now use your horn inside of both the stunt and the jet. Alongside, you can now apply a horn inside of both planes. So that's actually really cool. Alright, now I'll go ahead and talk about a brand new mechanic that was added and is exclusive to the Stunt Plane. So yes, guys, as you can see, there is a brand new shoot button, and thus this is the first vehicle that allows you to directly shoot from the vehicle driver's seat. So that's actually pretty sick. If you're playing on mobile, you just hold down the shoot button. If you're on Xbox, you hold down the X button. If you're on PlayStation, I believe you hold down the square button. And if you're on PC, you just hold down left click. And I think that is pretty cool. Now, unfortunately, you cannot use a keybind to actually shoot if you're using a keyboard only. So you do need to use a left click on your mouse if you're playing on the PC or console. Alright, so that is the brand new plane, and I think it is really cool, to be honest. You can also now drive inside of first person, inside of both the stunt and the jet, so that is really sick. And as you can see, the camera is altered a little bit when driving the stunt plane. It's much more noticeable if you use vehicle follow camera, because yeah, as you can see, the camera now faces the front of the stunt plane instead of the back. And I think that is actually a pretty cool feature slash potential bug. With that being said though, the stunt plane has also been buffed as it now goes up to about 170 miles per hour. So this vehicle is much faster than before, and I think that is a pretty solid change. So now I'll go ahead and talk about the jet, and the jet has actually received a few new tweaks. So like I said, you can now drive inside of first person in both planes, so that is really neat. The jet's statistics have stayed the same, so the jet did not get buffed nor nerfed, but you can also use horns in the jet, so that's awesome. Alright, so now I'll go ahead and talk about the black smoke particles that were supposed to show on both planes. And as of this update, you can now directly see the black smoke particles on both planes. But before I get right into it, I do want to clarify there is another feature that was added called a vehicle damage indicator. As of this update, you can now tell how much damage you're dealing to any vehicle. Some vehicles are much stronger than others, such as the tank in the Goliath, while others are relatively weak. But with that being said, this is an awesome change, and I'm glad it's in the game. And if you want to know if a vehicle has been shot down, the indicator will turn orange. So as you can see, it turned orange, and you can also see the brand new black smoke particles. The same can be said for the stunt plane. As you can see, we got the brand new black smoke particles, and I think that is a cool little feature. This effect is also used on helicopters like the 𝗟𝗃 drone and Army heli. So that is fantastic right there. Alright, now I'll go ahead and talk about a spawn location change, and that is regarding the jet. So originally the jet had a total of 3 spawn locations. One in the Bounty Bay airport, another one in the military base, and another one in the casino airport. The jet will no longer spawn at the casino airport, and instead the stunt plane will spawn at the casino airport. So if I go over to the casino airport, as you can see, the stunt will now spawn at the casino airport, which is a cool little change, and the reason is because the jet literally spawns over here, so it wouldn't make any sense to get a jet from the airport unless if you're not actually able to get inside of the military base. So now I'll go ahead and talk about another change that was made in this update, and this one is actually regarding the mansion exit doors. So there has been a small little patch, and I wasn't actually aware of this bug, but it turns out there used to be a bug where you could crawl in front of these doors and you could open up the doors. However, as of this update, it seems like this glitch has been patched. So I wasn't really sure how the glitch worked to begin with, but it has been patched as of this update, so that's good. So now I'll go ahead and talk about another change that has been made, and it's just a minor change, but I think this is a good one. Radios will now only be disabled if an equipped tool can be reloaded. So in other words, if you equip any tool that can be reloaded, such as the pistol and the sniper, then the radio will not show up. Alright, so I'll go ahead and show you guys what I mean. So I am holding the invitation, and as you can see, I can access the radio if I want to. So beforehand, if you equipped anything, regardless if it was reloadable or not, you used to not be able to directly access the radio. This was a weird bug because even though you could potentially press the R key to access the radio, the game actually thinks that when you have a tool equipped, you couldn't actually access the radio because the game thinks that the tool could be reloaded. However, this is not true for the weapons that cannot directly be reloaded. So that is pretty good, to be honest. Alongside, some of the emotes that could be used to no clip have been banned and blacklisted off of Jailbreak. Unfortunately though, this emote right here called the twice leg 𝗂𝗚 still works, which is an emote that allows you to clip through walls. That's disgusting, I'm not gonna lie. Anyway, I believe this emote was accidentally forgotten by 𝗟ci𝘃𝗲, but I think 𝗟ci𝘃𝗲 will fix it tomorrow or today by the time this video gets released to YouTube. So, thank you 𝗟ci𝘃𝗲, hopefully it does get patched. Red robbery markers on your screen, if robbery markers are turned on, will now be hidden to prevent some issues with them just showing up for no reason. So in other words, only the green robbery markers will show up on your screen. So as you can see, these robbery markers will show. Beforehand, every single robbery marker would show up on your screen, but as of the update, only the green/moving robbery markers will show up. So that is a good little change, and I think it makes it even easier to tell what robberies are open and whatnot. So there we go. Changed robbery rounds from 10 minutes to 8 minutes. With up to 4 extra minutes if a robbery is ongoing, which means that you have some spare time to rob something, and originally you didn't really have that much time. But as of this update, you have a little bit more time to rob something, and the robbery rounds will last a little bit shorter if there are no robberies going on right now. We also now have support for skipping tomb/museum if server does not have enough players. The reason being is because there are a lot of problems with solo grinding beforehand, but as of this update, you can now properly solo grind just like before the brand new robbery system was introduced. There was an increased drop chance of keycards by 20%, so it is easier to get a keycard from a cop who has 𝗟𝗚. Fixed a bug where C4 placement allowed some vehicles to fly sky high. And I am talking to those who use a C4 on top of their Volt bike. Alright, I'll show you guys what I mean. So this is the Volt bike, right? Well, you might be like, well, what's up? Before this update, if you put a C4 right here on your Volt bike, you could literally fly up in the sky and go insanely fast. But there was a patch regarding the glitch, and now it no longer works. So if I go ahead and try to put a C4 on this spot of the Volt bike, as you can see, the glitch no longer works. And I'm not even kidding, guys, it actually doesn't work anymore. I know, it's super interesting, but yes, lads, the glitch has been officially patched, which is awesome because this glitch deserved to be patched after like 2 years of its discovery. Oh yeah, you might be like, well, why are you using the 𝗟𝗃𝗃, Mr. Vince? Well, there was a similar glitch regarding some area vehicles like the 𝗟𝗃𝗃, and drone. But yes, as of this update, these vehicles can no longer fly at an infinite altitude if there is a C4 below the vehicles. And I remember doing this glitch a lot back in 2022 when I first got the 𝗟𝗃𝗃, and it was extremely game broken. But yes, as of this update, it is officially patched. So if you try to do the glitch, then it no longer works. So after about 3 years of its existence, since we already had the drone and the introduction of the C4 in the 2020 winter update, this glitch has been patched. So you can no longer make your beloved area vehicles go fly up into the sky. There was also a bug fix regarding tips. I'm not sure what the bug was, but tips have been fixed up this update, so that's good. There was a fix with the Longhorn and the vehicle seat of the Longhorn. The vehicle seat apparently had a tagging issue, so the tagging issue has been patched. I wasn't sure what's up with the Longhorn anyway, so it has been fixed as of this update. There was also an updated version of Switch to Police in the chat, so switching to police is a bit more accurate and reasonable. And I believe you can no longer see the message if you're the only one in a server. Yeah, Switch to Police has been changed a little bit, so the chat messages have been improved. A couple other chat messages have also been updated, so as you can see, these robbery chat messages will now say new robberies are opening instead of saying something like new robberies are about to open. And for those without the boss game pass, you will now be alerted which robberies are open at the moment when they're actually opening up. So that's awesome. I think this is a great change, to be honest. But now I'll go ahead and talk about some other changes that we got. So the first one is with the jewelry store. There is a brand new glass cutout escape, and this is what I'm talking about. So if you look very closely, this is the brand new glass cutout escape. Basically, there used to be a problem with camper cops, but as of the update, 𝗟cie𝘃𝗲 wanted to make it easier for the criminals to escape the jewelry store. So previously, you had to literally go through one of these doors, but as of this update, you can also use the glass cutout escape if you want. Yeah, that is awesome. So if you want to use it, well, it's up to you. Now, the only downside is there might be a cop camping here, and they'll be aware if you simply just used the glass cutout escape. Unless if you're very quick, then you can definitely escape from a cop. But otherwise, this is a pretty convenient way to escape the jewelry store, so that's good. An error was also silenced when falling out world. And now I'll go ahead and talk about something brand new regarding the tomb. So there are two tomb exits, right? However, as of this update, the tomb exits have been updated. Now, unfortunately, the terrain is a little bit glitchy. So in order for me to actually show you guys the brand new tomb exits, I have to literally drive over to the tomb exits because of streaming. So over here, this is the first one, and I have to say it really does look a lot better. Now some of you are like, well, why is there fencing on both exits? Well, there used to be a problem with spawning vehicles inside the tomb exit, but as of this update, you can't. So that has been changed. And you can also see that the tomb exits are much more refined, and there is actually a brand new gateway over here, and will only open up if you're actually inside of there. And some of you might have noticed that the anti-cheat was also updated, so that's a pretty decent change, but it kind of annoyed a few people, especially when you're driving the Volt bike. So yeah. Alright, so now I'll go ahead and talk about the other tomb exit, and I have to say, both tomb exits look really good. So that was the first one. The first one looks amazing, I'm not gonna lie there. But now I'll go ahead and show you guys the second one. So the second one is a bit smaller than the first one, but this is the second one. And again, it just looks amazing. We still got the gateway here, and it looks fancy. Honestly, I love these new tomb exits. They look even better than before. So thank you, 𝗟cie𝘃𝗲, for making these tomb exits look better. So now I'll go ahead and talk about another change with the tomb, and that change is really good. So inside of the treasure room, which is this room right here, there are way more gems to collect. Originally there were 7, but now there are 10. So there are about 40% more gems in the tomb treasure room. And this means that you can officially rob the tomb without having to worry about a lot of people just going over to the tomb. So you can have up to 9 people rob the tomb, and then you can just be the last one and successfully be able to rob the tomb. So now I'll go ahead and talk about one more addition that was added this update, and that is another escape regarding the power plant. So normally there are a pretty good amount of doors at the power plant, right? We got one over here, there's one right there, and there is a set of doors right here, right? Well, as of this update, there is another door right here. And this means that you can easily escape and probably not get arrested, if you're careful. But this is added so criminals can have an easier time robbing the power plant. But let's not forget that there is also a crate right here. So please keep that in mind. But if you have a Volt bike, then you should be fine. But overall, this is the brand new 5 days of vehicles update, and I have to say it is a fantastic update. Obviously, we are going to get another update today, and I will most likely make a video on the update, so please stay tuned for that. I believe Day 2's vehicle is going to be like the Fiasco, where it's pretty mediocre, but it's not going to be that bad. If you guys have enjoyed the video and have some concerns or some criticism that you want to share, please feel free to let me know down in the comments. But I'll go ahead and just simply rob the jewelry store for you guys because why not? So in the meantime, I'll go ahead and talk about how I'm feeling, and honestly, I have not been feeling really well. I currently have a set of issues with myself. So I have been coughing, and I also have a cold now. I don't really have a fever, but my body temperature has been raised because the immune system is trying to fight against these viruses that are now part of my body. And I am not in completely good shape, but I have not been feeling too bad either. So I have been doing alright. I don't have any other issues. I don't have cancer or anything, so I am perfectly fine. But with that being said, I want to thank you all for the support. Thank you, lads, for joining in. And I still have some high expectations when it comes to streaming. I still want to stream for you guys, so thank you all for that. But as always, my name is MisterVince. I hope you all have a great day today, and I'll see you guys next time.